On today's Into Your Head episode 636, the Italians and their tomatoes, Shakespearean language versus the modern day sandwich, fun with Braille, dealing with electrical tape, some listener correspondence about helicopter blades, an audience harmonica survey, binary performance art, life as an inanimate electric carving life, and lots more.
It's time for Insert Client's Product Title here. The greatest podcast or media product or insert name of medium on insert name of client's planet. Billing reference 93424.
This is a prelude to the rest of the show. An extra little segment put in here because I don't like how the furniture is arranged in this episode at the moment. But this will cure that, although it won't cure it for that woman who posted in the Canadian iTunes reviews saying that I belch too much, although she was kind enough to give me a good review otherwise. Thank you very much. If I had green skin here and two horns, would you say, I don't like people with green skin and two horns, so I'm going to mention that in his review, and in my review of his show. No, please don't be mentioning in iTunes reviews that I belch. It's none of anyone's business. Just review the content, not what I do. Not what I do outside of the show. If I happen to belch here in the privacy of my own home while I'm making this podcast, that's no concern to you, and it's no concern to prospective new listeners in the Canadian iTunes podcast charts either. So for Christ's sake, have a bit of live inside the garden fence. Is that what they call it? That's what they call it on the technology shows anyway. They say it's a walled garden. iTunes is a walled garden, and if you're going into the walled garden and you're inviting in guests, and guests want to know what's that particular flower into your head, what's that like, you don't say, oh, that fella spends half his life belching. I don't think he makes his bed. I think he spits into the toilet sometimes when no one's looking and when the door is closed and bolted. You do not. You tell them what you think of the podcast. You say it's absolutely fucking fantastic. Next they'll be saying he swears. He uses bad language. It's like using eggs that are out of date. This language is not out of date. It's the language of... Look up Shakespeare now. Read a bit of Shakespeare. Every second word is bastard. We were studying that day in, day out in school when we were kids. I'd say, take out your Shakespeare now and read a bit of that. And I'd say, Neal, you read the first page for us now. And I'd say, certainly, Falstaff, King Lear, in my humble opinion, you are a bastard. King Lear, I can't say I disagree with that, having traced my parents' lineage, or lack of lineage, to be more accurate. But you're a bastard for saying so. Then we got on with our day. I can tell you, I got out of school, got into accountancy college. It didn't affect me in any way. It's just a bit of bad language. I'm sure there's some of you out there who've accidentally taken a sip of some bad milk or eaten a bit of a bad egg before you've discovered it was bad. If you've accidentally heard me using some bad language, you don't even need to spit it out. Just put it down to something you didn't like and then move on with your life. It's not important. Language is no more important than a sandwich. A sandwich is just the thing you put together in the middle of the day using whatever's of it. Although not anymore nowadays. No, in my day it used to be you'd get out a bit of bread, you get out a bit of butter and you put it on and you say, now I might as well put something into this sandwich. And if you had something to put in the sandwich, you'd throw it in just to use it up. But if you didn't, then you just eat the sandwich with nothing in it. An absolutely delicious butter sandwich is absolutely fine. But no, nowadays you go out, you leave the office and you go out to some fucking shop and you queue up for 10 minutes. You say, hello, can I have a sandwich please? And they'll say, certainly sir, I'm a sandwich assembly expert, now please tell me how to make your sandwich. And you pay them for that privilege. Would you fuck off out of that? Well, it's absolutely the same with Shakespeare. Anyway, on with the show. We've a lot to get on with today. items that need to be attended to, issues that need to be addressed, topics. Oh, topics. We've got lots and lots of topics. We're positively booming to the seams with topics. We've got topics coming out of this box. This box here, this box is full of topics. It's jam-packed full of topics. Well, I wouldn't say jam-packed. It's got a reasonable amount in it. It's designed to hold a certain number of topics, because that's how the industrial era works. You design, pack appropriate packaging for the amount of topics or other things that you want to put in them, and then you put the things in them, and you go to, you have a standard village amount for each size box. You say, this box is going to contain this many things, and this other box is this box has frigging Braille on it. Christ, I've noticed that before. I've got a box here of a product that has got Braille on it. I wonder what it says. I've got declining eyesight. I should probably learn how to read this. It seems to say, let's see. By joining up the dots with a biro, will that work? Let's have a look now. It's about time I started learning this crap, because I might need it one day. Now that's interesting. I can't write in it because there's hollowness inside. There's hollowness inside this box, despite the fact that it's unused and jam-packed full to its intended capacity. There's still a bit of air and emptiness under that part of the cardboard where I wanted to write and join up the dots of the Braille. Well, at least I've learned something there. I've started on my progress towards learning the basics. You have to start at the beginning. There's no point starting at the end. If I want to go to the shop and I'll say, I want to go to the shop, I think I'll start at the shop. Oh no, that's not going to work unless you're doing online shopping. And I can tell you can be damn sure the hell as Christ you won't be doing online shopping from my local shop, because my local shop, the closest they get to being online is having a Facebook page, and then they'll put every fucking shop in this town now has a sign up saying find us on Facebook, because we can't. Some of the more enterprising ones try to write in their Facebook address, but they usually get it arseways. They'll say, shop.facebook.com.arse, find us there, go and look us up and like us. Incidentally, like Into Your Head on Facebook, facebook.com/Into Your Head podcast, and befriend me at facebook.com/Into Your Head, and just search for Matchstick Cats as well too. We have a page for them, and I have a page called Podcasts from Ireland as well now. Search for all of them and like them if you're a proper supporter of this programme. Otherwise you're a cunt. You're a thieving, conniving little cunt who comes on here and downloads my ones and zeros that have been specially arranged. I know that that's your excuse for everything now. You can say it's just ones and zeros. I can get them from anywhere. I can get ones and zeros from any pirate website. Well, you don't get I tell you, it's all in the cooking. The cooking of the ones and zeros. You certainly can get these ones and zeros from anywhere, but it's the order that I arrange them in that makes the difference. And surely to Christ there's some value in that. So do me the basic courtesy of liking my 17 Facebook presences.
Into Your Head.
2 electric carving knives walk into a bar. One of the electric carving knives straight away walks up to the bar. Well, not necessarily walks. An electric carving knife is unlikely to be able to walk. Although now that I think about it, any animator worth his salt could make an electric carving knife look like it's got 2 blades that work together as legs, but it wouldn't really be walking. It would just be an animated thing. But no, you could, if you used time and motion photography or whatever you call it, and took photos of the electric carving knife in different positions, you could certainly look like it was walking. For we all know to damn sure Christ as hell that has not walking. The only people who don't know it are the kids who you'd be showing this to. I can tell you, try getting that past a censor saying this should be rated general audience. It's a nice warm warm-hearted story about an electric carving knife that walks around. An animated electric carving knife doesn't do anyone any harm. Don't worry. It's just an electric carving knife looking for its lost mummy or something. I don't know. Anyway, the electric carving knife goes up to the bar and says, "Hello, can I have a pint of anything that doesn't cause rust, please? I'll have a pint of that." And the barman says, "What the fuck am I, a fucking chemist? I'm not a fucking chemist. I don't know what causes rust. I presume anything that can cause rust if you dip yourself in it for long enough. The trick of the trade is to just drink it down. But I can't help noticing you appear to be an electric cooking implement of some kind. I doubt very much indeed that you have a stomach or even any kind of reservoir into which, at least if you were a car or something, we could say, oh, I'll put it in your window washer wiper fluid container. We can pretend that's a stomach and then you get some enjoyment out of the evening. Although I'm not sure how. I get fucking pissed off with all these non-human implements get weirder and weirder coming into my bar, and I have to come up with inventive ways of satisfying their desire to be human. I can't do anything with this. You're a fucking electric carving knife. It'd probably electrocute myself if I poured anything into you. And how are you talking if you're not plugged in, for one thing? And the electric carving knife says, "I'm not talking. I'm a figment of your imagination. You're wild and crazy. What did I call it? Imagination. Well, that's according to you anyway, because you made me up. All these words I'm saying here now are all figments of your imagination. And if you need an explanation of anything I'm saying here, you need to look inside yourself, not at me. Don't shoot the messenger here, especially since the messenger is a mere fiction that lives inside your brain. Inside your brain, of course. It's living outside of your brain and it's standing in front of you at the other side of the bar. But that's all happening inside your brain. Your brain can't project, so you don't have a projector in there that projects holograms up out here. So it leads me to wonder what's going on here at all. What's going on here? Not that I mind. I'm quite happy to have been created by your mind. I'd be quite happy if you continue to maintain this fiction of me existing until I find some way. I suppose like Data in Star Trek, maybe I'll find some way to become human, and then I won't like it and I'll want to go back to being non-human, and then I'll get killed for some reason at the end of one of the movies, despite being the most popular and loved character on the fucking thing. No, they just kill you off and say, oh, that fella needs to die. We need to have death and destruction and AIDS and warfare. But no, I'm a fictional electric carving knife, and I go into a fictional bar and ask to sit down and have a quiet drink, and I'm treated like I'm fucking the fellow who tried to poison Mother Teresa. That probably happened in your brain as well, you fucking weirdo. I'm going to take my business elsewhere. In fact, I'm not even going to drink at all. I'm going to go back and get my friend there, and we're going to walk into a supermarket instead. We'll have a lot more fun there. At least we can get a joint of meat and have fun chopping it up into bits. No, it's a dead meat, not a real fucking live animal or person. We're not like that, you fucking cunt. Anyway, good morning, and thus ends their visit to the bar. I'm not sure where we go with this next. Where do we go with this next? Do we go with them to the supermarket? Is it possible for us to go? Well, because I thought we established that they were fictions of the barman's imagination. Or maybe they were just saying that, or maybe he just thought that. Has that ever occurred to you? I don't know. The possibilities are endless. You remember when you were a child, you used to get one of those books. You get to the end of the page and say, oh, there's a door. To go through the door, turn to page 87. To not go through the door, turn to page 88. To continue on to the next page and become confused, go back to school and learn how to read a fucking book, for Christ's sake. That's what used to happen. Well, it's exactly the same here. I'm doing this in my mind now. I'm thinking, will I bring them to the supermarket, or will I just end it there, or will I go on to two cats walk into a bar guitar story. I don't know. No idea. Haven't a fucking clue. Haven't the foggiest, most misted up impression of what I might or might not do next. And to be perfectly honest, that's the way I want it. That's the way it always has. The way we do things around here. We don't come up with a fucking agenda. We have no agenda here. And if there wasn't an agenda here, I can tell you, we just ignore it. We say, oh, that's a very interesting looking agenda. I wonder, can I roll it up into a ball and the cats can play with it? And we put that. I won't find that on the agenda, I can tell you, because if it was on the agenda, then I wouldn't do it. I'd find something else to do. I tell you, I'd burn it. I'd get out. I'd make sure the cats were out of the room first, and then I'd set the agenda on fire and watch it safely burn, and then I'd clean up the ashes and dispose of them in an environmentally friendly and safe manner. I tell you, that will put an end to that.
You're listening to Into Your Head because you couldn't find anything better now, could you?
We will not get on with today. 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 Alliteration, that's what they call it, you see. It's all about alliteration all across the American nation. Now, I probably could be better than that. Alliteration, if I remember rightly, is the word thing where you put all your... it's a type of writing where you... Oh, wait, I need to check this now. I don't want this to turn into yet another segment where I spend 10 minutes looking stuff up on the internet, because I'm getting rather tired of those. But we'll just see what alliteration is now before we carry on. It's the repetition of a particular sound in the prominent lifts or stressed syllables in a series of words or phrases. For example, where's their example? Dragging the lazy languid line along. Oh, there you go. So it doesn't have to start with the same letters. So it's all about alliteration all across the Lithuanian nation. I suppose that would work. Would it mean anything though? There's the question for you. There's a question and a half. Although what's the point? There's no such thing as half a question. It's either a question or not a question. If there's half a question, it's like an unborn question. Let's not get down that icky road of deciding whether an unborn question should be completed or should be disposed of. Oh no, this isn't that sort of program. This isn't the frigging question time on BBC Radio 4 with Jonathan Dimble Dumbleby. No, this is a light-hearted entertainment program. Are you entertained? Are you not entertained? Are you not? Oh fucking hell! Let's see if I can do anything to entertain you. So, here's some old passport photos of me unused. Isn't that fantastic? Will that entertain you in any way? It's not entertaining me. I suppose it's not about what you have, it's what you do with it that makes entertaining. I've a fucking microphone here. I could sit and stare at it and take photos of it all day, but that wouldn't make entertainment. It would not. It would make no. Although I could do what I talk about with the electric knives either earlier or later in this episode. I could do that way quite well with the microphone and the microphone stand. I've got a 12-inch pea popper blocker net here, so I suppose I could draw a face on that. Will I do that? No, I will not. I'm not going to start vandalising my equipment for the sake of cannibalising it and making entertainment. Oh no, we don't go around wrecking equipment on this show, I can tell you. Or I don't anyway. You might, if you got a podcast and you want to vandalise your equipment, be that on your own face, your own Facebook. Fuck. I suppose in a way, what I'm saying here is that I don't know where I'm going with this. I've already been out and had a piss. I thought that by the time I came back, I'd be ready to give it another whack. Something to the yak. Where's my harmonica? A slight problem there, because while I was saying that little on-the-fly rhyme there, I was absent-mindedly wrapping black plastic electrical insulation tape around the four fingers of my right hand quite tightly. So I'm at a bit of a handicap when I play the harmonica here. admittedly self-inflicted, but we'll give it a go anyway. Oh, where are we going with this? I've already had a piss. Where else can we go with this? I've already taped up my wrist. It was really my knuckles I've taped up. Are they knuckles? The things halfway down your fingers rather than at the bottoms of your fingers where they join the hand. Are they knuckles as well? Or are knuckles just the bits down there at the top of the finger where I'm pointing now? You see the way you've got bends. You've got two. If you've got normal fingers, anything near representing anything near a normal set of fingers, you have two bends in the fingers, and then when you bend your finger into a fist, you have a third knob up at the top of the finger where it joins the hand. So really you have 3 knobs on each finger, which makes 12, and you have another one on the thumb. I suppose you've 2 on the thumb, I don't know, so that's quite a lot. So which of them counted? You certainly have more than 4 knuckles if you're counting all of those on the hand. More than 4 knuckles, and I don't mean just 5. Like if you count the thumb, no, there's at least, I make at least 13 knuckles on your standard human hand. Now where does that leave you? I don't know. If you put your hand flat down on the table there, as I'm going to do now, I've unleashed the sellotape from it. I'm no longer restricted by my electrical tape. Although I'm a bit restricted now, because I've wasted some good tape, although I was losing its stickiness, having been absent-mindedly unwound on a previous occasion, I think. I'm going to have to dispose of that now. How do you dispose of electrical plastic insulation tape in an environmentally-friendly manner? Here's the question for you. I suppose really you can't, but I'll do my best. Don't worry, I'll do my best. I'm not going to just throw it away in the middle of a fucking lake that's got fishes floating around in it to eat plastic. Oh no, I'll put a bit of thought in it. I'll probably put it in the main household bin. It's probably not recyclable at this stage. Would I want someone to recycle something that's being wrapped around my wrist? No, you wouldn't put a used bandage or plaster in your recycle bin, so I don't think you'd put this in it. Anyway, I'll give it further thought. On Thursday night, that's when I put out my bins and prepare everything. Anyway, where was I? Can't remember now. Something about the harmonica. This harmonica. Only the second harmonica that I've had in my 36 years on the planet. I've been here since 1976, the beginning of 1976, and I've only owned 2 harmonicas in my life. What does that tell me about me? I don't know. How many harmonicas have you had? There's a question for you. How many harmonica years have you lived? How many years of your life have you owned a harmonica during? And how many of those years have you had 2 harmonicas? If you had 2 harmonicas during 1 year, then that counts as 2 harmonica years. That's how you count it. Anyway, where does that get us? I don't know. No idea. It gets us up to time for a break, I suppose. Do you like this podcast? You probably do, because you're listening to it. Do you want to support this podcast without it costing you a penny? All you have to do when you're doing your Christmas shopping, which you're starting today, go to intoyourhead.com. You'll find I've an amazon.co.uk banner for the UK and Ireland. I've an amazon.com banner for America land. I've an amazon.ca banner for Canadians. And if you click through one of them to get to your respective Amazon site and then just start shopping as normal. Do this every time you go to shop on Amazon. I get a generous commission on your Christmas shopping. Doesn't cost you a penny, and you're supporting the podcastual arts. You're one of the finest people in the podcastual arts. whatever you call it. Anyway, suffice to say, intoyourhead.com, click on the Amazon, and if you're opposed to shopping, if you're diametrically opposed to shopping, or you're shopping somewhere other than Amazon or the various other shoppers that you can see at Amazon.com, then you can also help the show by sending it money. And thank you to all those who have in the near recentness. Go to intoyourhead.com and click on the tip jar. It's all PayPal, major credit cards, and a bug standard credit card. You put it in, you say, hello PayPal, here's my fucking credit card, give this fella some money so I can listen to him without being guilt-ridden, racked with guilt every time I listen to this fella now. Admittedly, it's all just ones and zeros, but it's the way he arranges them. So that's like poetry and sometimes music. He arranges them, I think he uses alliteration. He goes 1010101 10101 1010101. Try having Professor Stephen Hawking do that, I can tell you, and there won't be anything like that, although every man to his own talents. Anyway, on with the show, intoyourhead.com.
You're listening to Into Your Head, hosted by Neal, Ireland's version of the Octomom. Except he's a dude, and has cats.
Absolutely fantastic.
Two electric carving knives walk into a supermarket. One of the electric carving knives straight away goes straight down the centre aisle. He's not going to be fooled by all this crap where they want you to go to the start counterclockwise or something and start at the vegetable stand and go through the bakery and then go along the back by the beach and then come down the other side past the boring stuff. No, he makes a conscious decision to pick an aisle right in the dead centre, and he goes for it. And he goes up the dead centre aisle, and it's a load of cans and tins and cans and tins is all. He doesn't even see them because he's just a fucking electric carving knife. Electric carving knives can't see things, although in the mind's eye they can, because this is all in our imagination. So, in this world in which we're creating in our mind's eye, let's agree to pretend that this electric carving knife can see. Now, I know we have a problem there, because in my mind he can see, but of course in theatre of the radio you create your own version of this in your own mind, so you'll just have to agree to interpret me within limits, and you're limited in that you have to. It's mandatory for you to imagine as well as I do that this electric carving knife is able to see in this mind. I'm sorry, I have to put my foot down and tell you what you can and can't imagine, but it's not going to work otherwise. Not going to work. I don't like to place limits on the human imagination, but on this occasion, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to put limits on the human imagination. If you want to make your own version later, fine. Just make sure you follow my Creative Commons restrictions, which you'll find in the show description. Anyway, the electric carving knife goes straight down the aisle full of tins and cans, and he says, Christ, these are no use to me. I'm not a fucking tin opener. I'm not a pheasant plucker, and nor am I a tin opener. I may well be a tin opener, son. I don't know. Although I don't think so, because I'm about 15 years old, and at the time I don't think they were making the likes of me out of recycled tin openers. They hadn't advanced that much yet. I don't think they'd even yet figured out how to recycle a bit of bent electrical plastic insulation tape that had been wrapped around someone's finger. Yeah, maybe they can now. I don't know. I'm not au fait with these things. Being, as I think we've established before, an inanimate object, although I seem to be pretty animated now. I'm animated now, like a little cow who's just discovered he's about to be electrocuted, which ironically would disanimate him. Electrocuting a live cow, eventually after a couple of minutes, if you do it right, it'll become disanimated, it'll no longer be animated, And I'm like that, I can tell you. Anyway, the electric carving knife continues on down the aisle, and he gets to the break in the aisle, because it's one of the bigger supermarkets. There's a break in the aisle, and you go across a little horizontal aisle, and then you go into the next part of the aisle. And the next part of the aisle, it's the hot sauces and the pasta sauces and the fucking because everything says Italian stuff, but everything in Italy is basically tomatoes. It's basically an oil full of tomatoes arranged in different types of containers. Tomatoes to put on spaghetti, tomatoes to put on your bread, tomatoes to mix into your other tomatoes to make them taste more tomato-y, tomatoes to dilute your other tomatoes to make them less tomato-y. Oh, all sorts of tomatoes. Tomatoes, I can tell you, they might be one of the finest foods known to man, but they are of little interest, I can tell you, to an electric carving knife. No, unless there's no unless at all. They're of no interest to him. He knows where his bread is buttered, I can tell you, and his bread isn't buttered by fucking variations on the theme of sauce made out of tomatoes. No disrespect to the Italians. They have the whole tomato thing. Oh, they have it all tied up in a little bow. Actually, I'm doing it again. I'm tying up this frigging bit of electrical tape as I say this. I got it tied in a bow now. Isn't that interesting? What does that say about me, I wonder? What does that say about me? I'm talking about some frigging electric carving knife who's talking about the Italians having the tomato thing tied up with a bow, and I find myself tying a bow in this bit of electrical tape. I don't know. There's something for any psychiatrist listening. Oh, that reminds me of some Mr. Correspondence I wanted to deal with here. Let's have a look now in my email. This is from Mitch, listener Mitch, who I've known of for some time. He's communicating with me on a certain matter. Here we go. Hello, Neal, Mitch here, one of your humble and ignorant listeners. Blah, 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 podcastual brilliance. I want to mention my enthusiasm for one thing in particular. And that is, was your suggestion that helicopter blades were designed to catch the attention of people who didn't believe there were flying cars. I think this is one of the finest thoughts a man has ever had. If you don't mind, I'm going to put my oar in there, not to interrupt myself, just to add a second parallel track to this segment, because I'm not happy with it. Don't worry, Mitch, this isn't a reflection on you and your correspondence. This is a reflection on me and the quality of my answer, which I'm not happy. I can come back to another time maybe and I'll do better. But for now, no, I need to parallel myself with this. I'll probably have this slightly louder than my original thing under this, because otherwise you won't be able to listen to either. It'll be like listening to lawnmower if you're a cat. Cats don't like listening to lawnmowers. They prefer to sit indoors eating. This is bollocks too, Mitch. This is bollocks too. Don't worry. Here I am trying to compete with your question and answer session, and all I can come up with is another load of bollocks. So it just goes to show, out of the two parallel segments that we have here, Mitch, the one involving your question turns out to be the better one. Not that it's a competition, but still, that's something you should feel happy about. In fact, I think I'll return myself now. Thank you very much. Return you to the me who's dealing with Mitch's ongoing issue. Hello. Anyway, no, I wanted to respond to this, Mitch, because you obviously put a lot of thought into this. Unfortunately, I haven't the fucking foggiest idea what you're talking about. I don't think I did discuss helicopters lately. I think I explained something along the lines of that helicopters are the flying. The flying car was here many decades ago. We just ignored it. We said that's not a flying car, that's a helicopter. A helicopter is a fucking flying car. Anyway, what's his point here? I have to reread this. I want to mention my enthusiasm for one thing in particular, and that is your suggestion that helicopter blades were designed to catch the attention of people who didn't believe they were actually flying cars. Or maybe I did say that. I don't know. I'm not going to go back through 600 episodes of this crap and figure out what I did or didn't say. If I said it and it's right, then fair play to everyone involved. I'm glad you got something out of this, Mitch. If that's your real name, probably is. I don't know. If it is, you should probably use a fake. I wouldn't use my real name on this. Oh, add to circles. I'll add them to circles now. Here we go. You can add people to circles now if you have Gmail. It says, do you want to add this fella to your circles? Why not? My circle of people on the internet is like one big happy family of complete fucking strangers who email me about helicopters. There's a fake delivery failure message from United States Parcel Services. I'll just delete that. We'll be done with that. Done and dusted, as they say. Over and done with. Done and dusted. Anyway, thank you very much for that, Mitch. I'm sure I wanted to say more about that than I did. I don't think I dealt with it very well. That's why we don't currently have a regular points of view section here. There used to be a thing called Open Line Friday, and I just had enough of it. It was too difficult trying to deal with listener correspondence here, but feel free to correspond with me whenever the mood takes you, and I'll correspond back whenever the mood takes me. studio@intoyourhead.com. Hello.
If you would like to comment on any of the issues raised in today's programme, email us at studio@intoyourhead.com. Remember, we value the opinions of you, the humble and ignorant listener.
Help support this free podcast. Go to intoyourhead.com/tipjar.
Sit, Annie, sit. Good cat.
Intoyourhead.com.